So that, of course, was Smash Mouth. Walking on the Sun from their album Fush Yu Mang. It's a good album. What do you think, Jared?
I don't know that album personally, but that's a great track.
They do a cover of Why Can't We Be Friends by War.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a cover. I thought Smash Mouth was the original.
Yeah, no, it's I like a cover. It's I don't know. I think that I guess they're just rock, but it sounds very ska.
I was gonna say it's a very ska groove that goes on during that, which I like it. It's cool. I'm not a huge fan of ska, but I like.
I really like ska. I don't listen to enough ska bands, but I do really like the genre. But anyway, so welcome back. We're going to do a second round of interviews. This is going to be a little bit shorter, but I'm sure we can think of discussion because Alex does have a couple of questions to ask Jared, and
anyone else in this
Tipper and Caleb,
too.
if you guys want to ask him, you're more than welcome to. So, for the more relaxed interview, what's your perfect Sunday?
Like ice cream sundae, or
that's the funniest answer you can give because I mean like Sunday afternoon. Like, what's your perfect day? Perfect Sunday, perfect day off. But you're like the third person I've asked that to and hasn't seen Hot Fuzz and just goes.
I have seen
maybe you have seen Hot Fuzz. I
just watched it too. That's really sad.
Okay, but that's kind of where that question stems. So, you could do ice cream first and then say Sunday afternoon.
Okay, ice cream. I love Americone Dream by Ben & Jerry's.
Oh, yeah.
That one's a good one. And the cinnamon roll one, it's like the, what is it called? They have it's cinnamon ice cream.
Oh, okay.
It's like cinnamon sugar. It's got like the mini cinnamon buns in it. Delicious. And peanut butter. I'm a sucker for peanut butter. So
peanut butter's good.
Peanut butter and chocolate. And, and then my perfect Sunday afternoon.
Sunday Y, not Sunday E.
Yeah. Sleeping in till noon, probably. Having awesome breakfast, either pancakes, waffles, or French toast, with real maple syrup, mind you.
Thank you.
None of that.
Thank you.
High fructose corn syrup crap. None of that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Super Troopers?
No.
They do it's about Vermont state troopers. A, wasn't even shot in Vermont.
Oh.
And B, they do a syrup chugging scene. Mm-hmm. It's like Aunt Jemima. I gagged. Oh man, it's like that's not real.
It looks like hot glue that's been colored.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah. No,
my girlfriend and I have a debate about this too. Kaylee, if you're listening, you can attest to this. But I say syrup. You say syrup.
Everyone in Vermont says syrup or something in between. I just give up.
My girlfriend's family's from Montpelier, and all of them say syrup and caramel instead of caramel.
I feel like my dad should call in because I feel we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's all the Flatlanders. They say syrup, and it's syrup, but I don't know.
The Flatlanders. Well, he's from New York though, and
that's the funny part.
Are from New York,
but he's lived in Vermont for at least 20 years, so that negates the whole.
No, I don't think so. It's where he was raised.
That's not how that works.
That's a good. No, I'm just. Hey, come on.
And everyone in New Hampshire seems to say syrup. But we grew up in Pennsylvania,
I'm
not that far from New York.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
It's funny because I'm from Vermont, and I'll say syrup, but then I'll say caramel.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. My girlfriend says caramel. Kaylee, if you're listening, please call in, and we can settle this debate once and for all.
Well, do you say if you dig a hole, throw something in that hole, and put the dirt on top of it? Is it you got? It starts with a B.
A hole.
It starts with a B.
Beatrice. Bumblebee.
Bank.
Is it buried or buried?
Oh, buried.
Buried.
Yeah.
Like buried, like the town.
Like Barry, Vermont?
And then with a D after it.
Buried.
Buried?
Yeah.
Who says I'm going to bury my caramel and syrup? Sorry.
Man.
Okay, anyway.
That's good. Sorry, no, we're getting sidetracked.
Okay.
So
did I answer? Yeah. Breakfast, French toast, waffles, all the good stuff.
Syrup or syrup. We got a caller.
This might be Kaylee.
Yeah. WVTC, go ahead.
Hi, this is Kaylee.
Yay, she called.
I heard you're making fun of the way I say syrup and caramel.
Yep.
We neither deny nor confirm these allegations.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Because I wasn't just listening to all of that.
Oh, good.
Well, I apologize if the way I say these words offends you. And I promise I'm not a Flatlander because, New Hampshire and all.
Yeah. I hear you. Cool. I don't know. I just wanted more inputs in the conversation. I thought it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
So
I don't know.
bury your caramel
My
and
parents
syrup.
Yeah, do
always said it that way.
what about buried? Do you say buried or buried?
Buried.
Buried?
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who says buried, but the argument was it's like it's buried. It's not a berry like a strawberry. The strawberry.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. That's just
Strawberry.
getting lazy.
Like the
Yeah.
English language. So
Yeah.
Strawberry.
People who say garage as garage, one
Diab-
syllable.
Garage.
No,
Garage.
garage.
Oh, yeah, no, Vermonters say garage. They put a second R in.
Really.
My second grade teacher from St. Mike's did that.
Did any of your family do that, Kaylee?
Garage.
Garage.
No, I don't think so. But hey, say
Yes.
Jeremy.
Oh, God. Yeah. So apparently, I always say the name Jeremy as Jeremy. I've said that my whole life, and we were talking about this the other day. And
Something related. We have one of the electrical engineering professors at VTC. His name is David Jarmy, and that's Jarmy. Jarmy.
Jarmy.
And people just say Jeremy. They just slur it. It's like, yeah, I was talking to Jeremy, and I'm just like, his name's Jarmy. You know, pronounce.
I've never heard that.
Pronunciate, darn it.
Yeah. So you called me, Kaylee.
Or I'm gonna bury you.
I'm gonna bury you with Jeremy and caramel syrup
Diabetes.
Hey.
Eat your damn oatmeal.
under the garage. Cool. All right. Well, you got me. 1 for 1. We're even.
All right, I'll let you guys get back to this discussion.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for calling.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so
Pancakes. Sleeping till noon.
yep. Probably playing music. Maybe hanging out with friends, hanging out with my girlfriend. Yeah, and having an awesome dinner and staying up late. Maybe a few drinks or two. You know. Yeah.
Whoever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not going to work on Monday or school. That's what makes it the perfect Sunday, because it can't be perfect if you have that looming in the back of your head.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
We all want things we can't have.
Yes, this is true.
Huh? Don't do that.
Don't look at him that way.
You stop looking at me like that.
All right, what's some other questions?
Do you have a most embarrassing moment you'd like to share?
Oh God.
Oh man.
Oh God. Oh man. Oh God. I don't even know what that's from. I just hear it all.
Yeah, that is a film called Tough Guys Don't Dance.
Oh right. You told me that. Most embarrassing moment. Yeah. If Ben Levesque, if you're listening, I don't know if he is still. One of the guys I was in my bands with back in high school. He'll remember this because he pointed it out to me. It was math class, sophomore year of high school, and it was the first period of the day for that day. And I hate mornings. I'm not a morning person. I love staying up late. I hate getting up early. And I'm just kind of rummaging around. And it was kind of hot in the room. Our teacher always kept it really warm. So I had a sweatshirt on. And after a while, I was like, all right, I'm going to take this off. And I just took it off. And then all of a sudden, my friend Ben is sitting right next to me. He's looking at me. And he starts chuckling and laughing. I'm like, what? And he just looks at me and goes, Merry Christmas, Jared. And I was like, what? And then I had a big Charlie Brown Christmas shirt on with all the animation and everything. And it was just like the super cheesiest thing. It was my pajama shirt. And I forgot to take it off and put on a real shirt. I was so tired in the morning that I was just like, sweatshirt, yeah, whatever. And I didn't change my shirt. So it's the shirt I slept in. It was like a big cheesy Charlie Brown Christmas shirt with all the colors and everything. And I just totally forgot. And he's like, Merry Christmas, Jared. I was like, fuck! Zipped my sweatshirt right back
Oh, gosh.
up. Oh,
We definitely
sorry.
apologize for
Sorry,
that.
sorry. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I said,
There is-
fudge.
There is, except I didn't say fudge. I said the word. The F word.
Sorry. It was after 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it's, I'm not going to get into it, but
Okay.
the FCC is, I don't know if it's
FCC.
okay. We to our listeners, we apologize for that. That was unexpected.
My bad.
But-
My bad.
Between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., you must not have vulgar content of your show.
Ah.
So it is not specifically permitted after 10 p.m., but it's a lenience
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay.
So
My bad.
we should have warned people. We'll try better
good.
next time.
I'll
But
be good. I'll be
anyway,
good from
we'll
now
erase
on.
the sin. So
So I said fudge, and then I put my sweatshirt back on. And then I had gym class that day too, which stunk because we had to change, and that's what I had to wear. Luckily, we were playing, I don't know what we were playing, field hockey or something, and we had like those pennies, those red pennies, so I wore it over mine, and nobody noticed, thank goodness.
Oh, okay.
So that's my most embarrassing story I can think of.
All right. Do you have a favorite? I have a couple here. Do you have a favorite movie, favorite TV show, or a favorite book?
Oh, God.
Picture books don't count.
Let's see. I don't know. What's movie?
He's not here to defend himself. That's not nice.
I don't know. What have I been into? I've been really into Blade Runner recently.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. Come over. It's a good movie. Fight Club. I always loved Fight Club. Donnie Darko is pretty weird. I like a lot of how can I put this? Mind fudge movies.
Okay, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, mind fudge movies.
So I would add to that list Shutter Island.
Yes. Thank you. I forgot about that one. Memento is a great one. I said Fight Club, right? Trying to think what else is on my little rack of DVDs. I don't know. Just a lot of weird movies that are kind of interesting. I like movies that I don't understand the first time and then I have to rewatch them. Because, if I just watch a movie and I'm just like, oh, okay, I understand everything that happened, I don't really feel like I need to see it again. But if there's a movie that's kind of like an onion and there's layers and, you can discover something new every time.
Layers like an ogre?
Oh.
You said layers like an onion and I just immediately thought Shrek.
Okay, it's all right.
We just played Smash Mouth.
I know, it's fair. But you know what I mean? Like, something like Fight Club, like
but seriously, yeah,
things
I do.
The second time.
Yes.
Shutter Island, definitely.
Yeah.
Memento is backwards, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But that's a cool movie. TV shows, the IT Crowd from Britain, definitely a favorite. If anyone on the air hasn't checked that out, definitely check it out. It's really funny. It's about guys in the IT department in the basement. It's funny. I've been watching House of Cards recently. I'm on season 3. This just came out. Kevin Spacey's amazing in that. I love that. I actually just started Breaking Bad too, which everyone tells me is amazing. Yeah. So I'm almost over the first season of that. I always liked Fresh Prince of Bel-Air growing up. Me and my brother used to watch that.
That's classic.
Yeah, and that was the other one. Books.
Yeah.
I don't read books, so yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. I read music books, so you're shaking your head at me. Disappointing.
I don't think he reads much either. So.
Oh, okay.
Can you even read? I don't think you know how to read.
Wow, Patrick.
Music books. I don't know. I was reading some documentaries on some bands once in a while. There was a series I really liked when I was a kid called Bunnicula. It was about a vampire rabbit, and I used to love that.
Yeah, my brother Kevin used to read those.
Yeah, they were cool. They were cool back in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter, I don't think I ever actually read one all the way through. Either my dad used to read them to me when I was a little kid, or we had it on tape. And then...
Why are you all looking at me? That is not fair.
The way you adjusted the microphone was quite humorous. Oh, wow, that was weird.
Huh?
That was weird.
Oh, it did...
Yeah,
that was weird. That's the universe. Just...
Oh, no, it's like... I got to do it to make sure, because it's like when you have a book, and you move it across the table, and it goes... And it's like, it farts, and you got to do it like 5 times to make sure everyone in the room knows that it was the book. And not A.
This is why I don't read books.
I lift the book off the table if I'm bringing it closer. I don't just drag it.
Oh, wow. I'm lazy. I let the table do 60% of the work for me.
Cool. All right, so yeah, that's that. Any other questions?
Yeah, Alex has some questions.
Yeah, no, I was curious just because, like I mentioned to you before your show, is I'm always looking for new music.
Yeah.
And first thing I noticed about your music right off the bat was the guitar. So I was just curious, like what your learning to play the guitar was like for you, because you said you started playing in high school.
Yeah.
Because I picked up guitar my last semester of high school.
Okay.
And I'll admit you're a lot better than I am.
Oh.
So I was just curious as to how, like, you've.
How did I go from knowing nothing to where I am now?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think I told you this before the show, but I started with piano.
Yeah.
And I started that when I was 6, and I took private lessons. And basically, I just when I was in high school, all the friends were in bands, and I was like, oh, guitar is really cool. I want to take that up. So I'd had friends just kind of show me stuff. And honestly, playing piano helped a ton. So I already knew how to read music. I already knew what notes and chords and all that stuff were. So that helped a lot. But I'm totally self-taught on guitar. And bass or anything else that's not piano. The only two things I ever took lessons are I took a few years of voice lessons, and I took piano lessons up until like last year. So that it's kind of a weird case scenario because guitar is not my main instrument, but I do play it a lot. It's just a matter of convenience. Like bringing in a huge keyboard is kind of a hassle, space wise. So
Fair enough.
Guitar is just like, oh, okay, it's a quick instrument. You can just plug it in, you can go. And I've been taking lessons in piano for a long time, so I kind of really know. Look at a piano, I can see what's going on pretty much. Whereas a guitar, I can put my fingers in two random spots and play a chord and be like, wow, I have no idea what that is. So that's kind of nice. It's the freedom, Piano, it's like, I know what's going on, this chord, that chord. But guitar, I can kind of make new discoveries, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it too. That was something that I was curious about. Another thing too was all the effects that you had with your guitar. So if you could maybe explain to the listeners what you were doing.
Yeah, like all the foot pedals and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That was awesome.
Thanks. I don't really have like a pedal rig. Like a lot of like really good guitarists will have tons of pedals. I only have two right now, and there's one on its way from Denmark. They're both by a company called TC Electronic. Patrick is squeaking again. It's all good. TC Electronic, they're in Denmark. I have what is it called? Ditto X2 looper. And that's just a looper pedal. Anytime you heard me playing stuff that wasn't, there was multiple guitar parts going on at once, that was what the looper pedal was. Because I mainly play solo, I kind of want to sound bigger than I am if I can and have multiple parts going on at once. So eventually, about a year ago, I bought a looper pedal. And there's a lot of them out there. The company Boss makes a really good looper pedal. Ditto is from TC Electronic. They're good. I just like the design of it. The volume knob is really easy to move. It's also got a reverse function, so you can play stuff backwards, which is cool. And you can do stuff at half speed, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the other one I have that I just got is the Hall of Fame reverb pedal from TC Electronic, and that's just reverb. And mainly I was just using a tiny bit on most of the songs. On my Wrecking Ball and a few others, I cranked it up to like a cathedral sound, so it's just a huge sound of reverb.
Sweet.
So
awesome. Yeah.
Hope that helps.
Yeah, that did help, and those were like my immediate questions that I had. I don't know if you got anything else over there, Pat.
I could certainly think of a few if you'd like me to. Jared, what do you do on a day off? Because I know you do work.
Yeah, well, I kind of have a weird schedule because I'm teaching 4 days a week and in between undergrad and graduate stuff. So it depends where I am and what I'm doing. This year's been kind of really weird. But usually sleep in. I'm pretty predictable, if you can tell. Play music. Try to network and get some gigs if I can.
Nice.
Hang out with people. Learn some new music. I'm always trying to learn stuff on the piano or guitar and practice. That's a tough part because now I'm not taking lessons, so no one's telling me I have to practice. So now it's like a self-motivation thing. It's like, I could just go to bed and sleep in more, or I could get up and practice. And it's like, all right, you kind of have to drag yourself and do it.
Right.
So I try to be equal parts productive and just kind of lying around and being lazy.
All right, fair enough.
So balance. Balance is the key to life.
Good. What's your opinion on what some could term to be the war of the formats for listening to music? That is, a lot of stuff is online today. There's a lot of, I think it's Vivo, YouTube channels of certain artists. There's streaming services like Pandora and Spotify. Purchasing your music, purchasing the MP3, the CD, and nowadays record because vinyl's in resurgence.
Yep, and tape.
You'd be surprised.
Patrick is an avid cassette collector, if anyone doesn't know that.
Yeah, and of course the radio, AM and FM.
Yep. What is my opinion on it?
I don't know. What are your general thoughts? Where is it going?
I asked.
What do you
I
like
asked
to do
my boss at
personally?
Guitar Center that the other day. I was like, "Where do you think music is going?" I don't know. Would be the quickest answer, but I mean, I collect vinyl too, so I love vinyl.
Right.
You know, for pretty much the same reasons everyone else does. I love having something I can look at. I like the bigger artwork. I love, sometimes the sound is better. I don't think it's always better. I think some of that is a little, over exaggerated.
It depends. Newer records are more than likely to be digital masters. So an analog recording of a digital master is still a digital master.
Yeah.
It's a digital master in analog medium. So
Yeah.
you're doing something to the quality to kind of nuance it.
Yeah.
And make it like, it's analog. It sounds warmer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't get that unless it's mastered originally from like the big
Analog.
Studer tape machines,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
24 track
Yep.
that runs at like
Yeah. And
incredible
I have some
speeds.
newer records too that I know that I'm like, well,
Right.
it's not going to be like, oh my god, it's so much better, but I just like having them,
Yeah, sometimes the physical medium is most of it.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
I
what
still
I
buy CDs, but I also have an iPod Classic, which rest in peace now because they're not making them anymore.
Oh man, but it's still working.
Yeah, oh yes, knock on wood, but yeah, I don't know. I'm all for whatever. As much as Spotify seems to cause problems with people and not getting paid a lot, it is very
Right.
useful. For example, the guy Ryan Adams, excuse me, I was talking about before. I didn't really know who he was. I'd heard about him a few times before, and then I saw he played on Letterman or something like that. I liked that song, and then I looked it up. Looked up his stuff on Spotify, and I found, he's got a new album. And I listened to the whole album in its entirety on Spotify, and because of that, I ended up buying that album on CD. And then me and my friend Amanda went out and we went to see him in concert in Boston,
Oh, nice.
which is awesome. And then I bought his album on record. So I bought his CD, I bought his record, and I bought like an $80 concert ticket, and with my friend to go see him. So really, even though he was kind of getting gypped by Spotify, I gave him a lot of money, because of Spotify. Otherwise, if I hadn't been able to hear that album, I might have been like, this song's pretty good, but never checked out anything else.
Right, exactly.
Not bought the album in both formats or gone to see him.
Right. So everything has its merits.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all good. I think no one really knows where the music industry is going right now. People can say, it's doing this and that.
People can crap on it, they can praise it, but music will always be. That's for sure.
Yeah. The biggest question I always have is how long do you think the vinyl resurgence is going to last? Because a lot of people don't think it's going to be forever. I mean, everything changes. Do you think?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
that's all. I'm not as sure. I'm as sure as the next guy because you can't predict the future. But yet, but what I will say is this: it did more or less come back.
Yeah.
People say it wasn't really gone; it just got more popular.
Mhm.
So I mean, you'll see trends everywhere. Things will die out, and then they'll come back, and then they'll die out. Like, I don't know about CDs. I mean, they were great for their time. They're still great now, but I feel like less and less people are buying CDs.
Yeah, I don't think vinyl ever really died. I think it's going to probably dip down in
It'll
popularity
dip again
eventually. And there's all these like hi-fi players, like Neil Young had the Pono.
I think that's
I've heard that's not really worth it.
I don't think it's worth it at all.
Yeah,
I think if you're gonna invest
expensive too.
in a player, just get a computer with a good sound card, and it'll cost less money.
Yeah.
Or if you have, a lot of people have PCs nowadays,
Yeah.
or Macs or whatever. Just buy a good DAC, and that is a digital to analog converter. If you're that much of a purist, I mean, most sound cards in the PC sound good enough to most people to be acceptable, but some people don't like that. They're like, no, I need it to be analog. It can't just be bits.
Yeah.
But
So what about you guys?
I don't think
anyone else in the studio opinions.
Well, Caleb rolled his eyes, and I tend to agree. I don't think it matters. I think it's good enough that it's not. Unless you were just rolling your eyes because I'm talking too much.
No, I was agreeing.
Okay.
I was making
Because that happens too.
People who are like, the bits or whatever. It's just like a blanket statement that they use because they don't really understand how it works.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There was one article that I think Dylan upstairs, he sent to me. He's like, hey, Pat, you want a good laugh? It was a guy arguing that the storage format of your music affects the playback. That doesn't make... I'm not a computer engineering major. I'm not software. I know that's crap. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
It's like I put an apple in a cardboard box, but the shape of that box is going to change how the apple tastes. that's the same logic.
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
dumb.
Really is the same
Yeah.
logic.
And honestly, if you can hear the difference, I'm surprised that like NASA or the NIST, National Institute for like Standardized Research, or what? It's not an R, but NIST. They do like there's like a light bulb that's so precisely 100.00000 watts, and they do testing on all this equipment. And it's like if you're that good, if you can tell the difference between like a WAV file and a high quality MP3, like it's like the bit register for this and that computer. It's like if you can tell that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If you can actually legitimately tell, like doing a double blind study would be awesome for people like that, just to take them down a peg.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I need to spend $40,000.
It's like the Coke and Pepsi thing. You do a blind taste test. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like
they have different tastes, but I think they're just as good.
Some late night host did a thing where he's like, okay, this cup has Starbucks in it. This cup has coffee from the local gas station.
Yeah.
And everybody who thought it was Starbucks was like, oh yeah, the Starbucks one is way better. And then there was just this one dude that was like, hey, they taste the same to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, because they probably did taste the same.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, they did something similar. It was actually a video where there's like these food aficionados. They took McDonald's, they chopped it up, they prepared it to look fancy. And these people's like, it's got a very good bouquet. And I'm just like, you're eating a chicken nugget. Get over yourself.
Nice.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, that's a state of music. I like owning my own music, just like you.
Yeah.
I don't think tapes will make a comeback.
Probably not.
I mean, there are some independent cassette releases. People think the sound dies out, and that's true. Depending on the type of tape, it can degrade.
I think it's
with
just
time.
the aesthetic quality. Like, oh, look at this. It's kind of like a, it's a research. It's like a throwback's not the right word. Nostalgia is probably the better word.
And that's fair. But I mean, I will still buy cassettes, and there are new releases that they have on tape.
Yeah.
Like I went to see Tobacco at Higher Ground, and Zachy Force Funk was opening for him. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Didn't even. I was like, at first, I didn't even really like him. I was just like, this is. And then they did a collab, and I'm like, this is really good. So he had a record, and then I was about to buy the record, and then I saw the cassette, and I was like, and I had like a pit like Know Your Roots, and I'm just like, I'll take the tape because it was $5, and the vinyl was like 20.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the other thing is, as a struggling musician, like I understand where people are coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I know how hard it is. So I want to support people as much as I want them to support me,
Yeah.
I think digital is the way to go because no matter where you are, you'll always have it.
That's true. Portability is key.
It can't break.
Yeah.
It will last way longer than a vinyl or a tape.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
you can lose files, but I do agree. Like digital, it's more convenient.
If it's on the cloud, then
absolutely.
it doesn't matter if you lose it. You'll always have it somewhere.
Yeah, and they talk about file degradation, but I feel like storage technology is getting better to the point where it can't degrade.
Well, I mean, it's the actual storage device that's degrading, not the information inside it.
Well, whenever you keep copying something, there's the tiniest bit of change every time you copy it. So eventually, like a million years later, it's going to be worse.
Right.
But you're not going to be around for that.
Also, I mean,
I was going to say,
don't you take all your tapes and your vinyls and upload them into digital format?
Yeah, I do, because if I, when I move I plan to like get a house or an apartment after I graduate from VTC.
Yeah.
And if if there's a flood or a fire or someone breaks in and steals all my records,
that's true.
A, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And B, I'll still have what? I can say piss on the air.
Okay, I didn't know. There should be a list
it's not. I mean, unless any 5-year-olds are up listening to us, which if you are, congrats. That's very.
You win.
Where are your parents?
Where are your parents? This is WVTC. It's almost midnight. Where are your parents? Do your parents know where you are? I don't know what it says. But anyway, digital. I do take my tapes and my LPs and I do convert them to high quality digital. And that's the thing. People can argue it's like, oh, you can't beat analog quality. It's like, yes, I like listening to a record as much as the next guy. But when it comes down to it, digital is a little bit easier. And if I can't tell the difference, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, also, you can, so you could, give a vinyl or a tape to someone, say, here, this sounds really cool. Why don't you listen to it? But I feel like because it's a physical thing, if you take a song, and you just hey, listen to this song, and you share it with them, you can be like, and they can be like, oh, I really like that, and they're like, well, then you can buy it yourself. However, if you run the risk in lending people physical things that they can break, or
That's true.
Right, like
so.
LPs get dust on them. They can get scratched. You got to handle them by the edges. Tapes. I honestly think tapes are a little bit superior to records in the fact that they can't scratch. They don't degrade with play. Like if you play it on a crappy record player with a bad needle, you're not gonna ruin a tape with a bad head.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin a record with a bad needle.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
there's sometimes like it can go like and then it'll get like garbled, and people try to when you're in the old car cassette decks, it'll get all tangled and ruined. You gotta like pull it out.
Yeah.
Everything like that, but and you can still rewind it with a pen.
There you go.
So, but anyway, tape, nostalgic factor.
Yep.
I'll buy them when I can because they're cheap, and I like having the physical. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But like Caleb said, I do convert it to digital so I can have it whenever and wherever.
I mean, and nowadays, how many of your friends actually have, a record player or a cassette player? I mean, I can count. Other than the people that are,
that's what I'm talking
really
about.
into music.
I can count on one hand the amount of friends I have who still listen to records and tapes.
So it's really hard to, share, music you like unless they're physically with you.
Yeah.
But if it's digital, you can be like, hey, you can send it to them.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. That's like double-edged sword because it's great, but it's also it stinks for the artist.
Right.
Because that's how illegal music and the whole dawn of Napster, and there's just like...
Right.
Well,
and people look foolish because they try to stop it. Like, the record company's like, no, we're going to stop this. And, like, you can't stop stuff like that. Once it's out, it's out.
Well, I feel like if you really love a band, you will buy their stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, bands have to tour now more than ever, and they have to sell merch.
That's the great thing,
tough.
As much... this is my personal opinion, it might be true, but... as much like pirating or whatever, circumventing the legal way to get music, if you really love the artist, I think you will buy the media.
I mean, that kind of brings up the whole thing. Pirate Bay had a thing for a while where it was Game of Thrones, when that first became really popular.
Okay.
It's media, so kind of related.
Right.
But like the producers of the show on HBO, they took it as a compliment that
really
that
people
they
were
were the most pirated because it got
they're doing something right,
because their subscriptions went up as well.
Yeah, I mean, usually, see what I think is that, like, especially with music, the studio takes most of the money from.
Oh yeah, the record company.
Yeah,
so like bands
really
like
bad.
Radiohead. We're like, we're releasing this for free.
Yeah, in rainbows. Yep, absolutely.
And because...
Or pay what you want, and they made more money because they weren't going through the record company.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, even though some people are like, oh, but you're screwing over the band, you're not really screwing over the band. You're screwing over the record label, which is already screwing over the band.
Yeah,
so,
the whole system is...
So it cancels out. It's two wrongs do make a right.
I mean, a lot... There are, like, nowadays, I think more than, like, modern bands are either releasing their stuff for free or encouraging you to, like, download it and share it. Because it's like,
Get the word out.
You really love this album. You're like, they're about to tour. They're going to tour near my area. I would love to go see them.
Like Twiddle, right? You were talking about them.
Yeah.
They're a band that it seems like they've definitely marketed on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that it's funny because here at VTC there was only a couple of people who had actually heard of them, and you said down in
New Hampshire, yeah, a lot of my friends from high school are crazy about Vermont Technical, and they go to multiple shows.
Yeah,
if they're because they're still a relatively local band, so they're not. It's like they're touring in Europe or whatever. Maybe they are, but you know what I mean. Like they play like maybe 1 or 2 shows in New Hampshire, 1 or 2 shows in Vermont. Whereas a huge band would be like Boston, New York, Chicago, L.A. Whereas these local bands, you can see multiple times. You have the same people seeing you over and over again, buying those tickets.
It's good. And Twiddle was here. They were in Randolph Thursday night. They were in Boston Friday morning.
Wow. Yeah, well, this is a funny thing, because all the new technology has definitely changed the game. But at the end of the day, really, it just comes down to hard work and touring. You can't beat that. If you just go around and promote yourself, eventually, if you're good, and, or maybe I shouldn't say that, if people like you, if you get enough of a following, regardless of how good your music is, that's... people are going to pay attention and you're going to get buzzed,
I think it's also really cool, speaking of local bands and stuff like that, it's really cool to see, like, a band that you paid, like, $10 to go to a show to, and then, like, a year down the road, it's like now
$30.
they're actually
They're
doing
huge.
tours in different countries, and it's like
It's so
you got
cool.
to
I
see
remember
them
when.
grow.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Very
is why
cool.
we're doing this radio show now. So when Jared becomes famous, we're like,
Yeah.
he was back at a college radio station.
I meant like not as a bragging point.
Yeah.
To see their growth is
Yeah.
is very.
I mean,
And I
there are
agree,
also
it's-
bragging rights, but
Yeah.
They're a bragging right, but that's kind of like I'd say not a bonus, but like a side effect. It's kind of, you get that, but the main thing is that you get out there and it's cool to see that development.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like our last night played in Higher Ground a couple times, and Matt and I.
You know our last night?
Yeah,
They
Matt
went-
and I went and
They went
saw
to my
them
high school.
a couple times, and then now they're like
Yeah.
they're touring different countries.
Oh,
It's like,
absolutely.
it's
You
pretty-
mean they played there or the people?
They went to Hollis Brookline High School.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Absolutely. One of my friends, Joey Perricone, he was their drummer for a while, and his brother was in the band. And my brother Nathan knows them pretty well. The bassist was his substitute teacher for a while before the band really kicked off. They're from Hollis. They're like a super
now
local band.
they're picking up right now, and
Well,
I mean,
another thing they did is that YouTube, they did covers.
yes,
They have a ton
their
of
covers
Yeah.
are really good.
Our
Yeah.
last night cover, I've seen a ton of
They did
those.
it like a-
Their I prefer
So good.
I prefer their original their own music they make themselves, but their covers are also really
and I think
good.
that's what helped a lot. Like, Taylor Swift done in
The
like
first
a
cover-
heavy metal kind of
The
style.
first cover I heard was
not heavy metal, but whatever.
in one
style.
like in the Skyfall.
Yeah, that's a great cover.
Skyfall, so good.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
cover is so good.
Yeah,
Oh
and
man,
that's what does it. And they're like, oh, who are these guys?
Yeah.
But I've seen that not work sometimes, and it really, the nice thing is they have a decent amount of money, and that's the other really stinky part about music is that like if you have enough money, you can pretty much just make it. And that's why it's so hard sometimes.
Right.
Like you can pay for, because all of those videos for all those covers, those are really nice, well shot videos.
Yeah.
Each of those songs they had to record in the studio. That takes a lot of time. They had to figure out the arrangements.
Well, it's
a lot of
either
money.
have a lot of money or it's who you know.
Yeah. Well, in that case, from what I understand, it's their family and their parents. They're very blessed to have that, wealth to be able to share with their kids and be like, all right, support your dream
I mean,
here.
if you're like an aspiring musician, it really is useful for you to mingle with like different kinds of people.
Absolutely. It's
So,
all about connections. I mean, that's how I got this show, right? I didn't call up VTC and be like, hey, I'm from New Hampshire. Can I play on your radio show? Yeah, I know Patrick. He's my cousin. That's what it all comes down to.
You got to start somewhere. So
Yeah, I got a show, what is it, May 15th in Montpelier. What is it called? Begito's Bagel and Burrito Cafe.
That's right.
Yeah. One of my friends, whose artist name is Nathaniel's Ghost, I met him at Guitar Center when I was working. We had an open house. He's an amazing guitar player. It's like kind of like Michael Hedges, kind of all instrumental, really cool stuff. I met him. I never met him before, and we were friends on Facebook. I liked his page, and then I was just looking through his tour schedule, and I saw, he's played at this place in Montpelier. I'm like, I have cousins that live in Montpelier, and I checked it out, and sure enough, they have music. I called them up, and I booked a show. So because I got the job at Guitar Center, I found out about this guy, and because I knew him, I found out about this place, and then I got the gig.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there you go.
I've made a lot of great connections just like that, and years of doing like stage lighting and sound,
Yep.
and I mean now the radio stuff,
Yeah,
stuff. It's great to get your name out there.
yeah, absolutely. Cool. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no, it's great to have
Patrick,
you. Glad we could have some local musicians.
Yeah.
So
Jared Rocco Music, check it out.
have you played for like a larger audience before?
Yeah, decent amount. Usually that's more like a shared thing, if like multiple groups or multiple bands. I played a lot at UNH. We did a few shows. We had like a May Day carnival, like the end of the year bash you have. It's kind of like a similar thing, but UNH is a pretty big school, so they had a stage set up and everything, and people had carnival rides and there were food.
Yeah.
So not everyone was like there for a concert, but I'll take whatever I can get.
Do you have like? I was just wondering, like the kind of the anxiety that comes with performing in front of an audience.
Not as much as I used to. People ask me about that a lot, and I don't know. Sometimes like I kind of almost have to be like, it's a weird state of mind to be in, but I almost just be like, it doesn't matter. Like I could totally fail, and then nothing. It doesn't matter. Like I almost like don't care, and that almost helps me not get nervous.
I think because the question comes up a lot is because a lot of people dread going in front of other people, even though like some people it's like they'll dread it, but that they're really they perform well in front of others.
Well, my girlfriend would be the best example of that. She's a music major. She plays violin, but she's also a singer, and she does a lot of theater. And she's a really hard worker, but she always gets really nervous. And then come performance time, she always nails it. And I'm telling her, like, see, I know you do it. She's like, oh, I don't know, but she always does it. But for her, that's just kind of, I think it's part of the process of preparing.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're not nervous, sometimes people think, like, oh, that's not good. I need to be nervous. I'm usually nervous.
Yeah, if I'm not nervous, does that mean I really don't care?
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of do that to myself so I don't get nervous.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only time I'm really nervous is when I know I'm not as prepared as I could be. But I also play a lot of jazz, too, and in jazz you have to improvise a lot. So, like, for example, tonight, the Ryan Adams song, My Wrecking Ball, I accidentally looped this section twice as long as it should have been. But you can't go back. So I just kind of figured, all right, I'll kind of adjust and just make changes on the spot. And if I had to say, like, that would be one of my greatest strengths, I think. I have a lot of weaknesses, but I'm always pretty good at, like, okay, something went wrong, let's fix this, Because you can't panic in a time like that. Otherwise, everybody knows.
Yeah. And they've never heard it. And, I'll say, I don't know about you, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
What I did notice, but I didn't, you wouldn't have known by listening, unless you're listening really closely, that tuning the low string on the fly was pretty good.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
We both
I saw that,
up.
and I'm like, he was just playing, and then just kind of like,
Yeah.
it was like that.
It was out on, that was like the second song I did, One More Summer
Yeah.
to Grow, and I was just like, oh, God, that's not in tune. I was like, I gotta fix that at some point.
That was good.
Thank you.
No, that was awesome.
Cool.
So,
I think we're good.
Pretty much wrap it up at this point.
Yeah.
We went way over an hour, but
thanks to anyone who's still listening.
Yeah, good discussion. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great night. And I guess we're gonna play one more song, and then we're gonna throw it back to the to automation. And I hope everyone has an excellent night.
What are you gonna pick here?
Some ska, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Okay, nice.
So this is one of my personal favorites from the album Let's Face It. This is the 1997 album from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and this song is, of course, can't see the title. I've already forgot. This is The Impression That I Get. I thought I already said the title. I got confused. And you're listening to 90.7 WVTC Vermont Tech Radio. I'm DJ Schlott Machine. Have a great night.